Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I am pretty excited for this video because I'm going to be doing the Truthful Youtuber Tag, which was started by Mel Thompson, so I will leave her channel down below. Really great content if you are not subscribed to her already, and she's beautiful. So I really love this tag, and I love how it gives kind of insight onto how people run their channel, and I feel like maybe questions that we all want to know, but we just don't ask, or like some things that people just aren't as open about. So I thought this was a great way to get everything all out in the air. That's the phrase, right? All out in the air? To get everything all out in the air? No, I think I just mean to say clear the air, even though there's nothing to be cleared. So that's not the phrase I mean either. I'm getting a lot of lyrics for All Out of Love from Air Supply. Basically, I just really like the questions, and I have filmed this video twice already. The first time my mic was off. The second time I filmed it, I edited it, I sat on it for a while because I just felt like I just went too in-depth on every single question. It was the longest video of life. It was like 40 minutes long, and I feel like I just took things too seriously, and it was just like, it just didn't feel like a positive video. So I just thought I would refilm it, and I don't want to put anything up that I'm not 100% happy with, so 3 times the charm. Okay, so I have all the questions pulled up. Number 1 is, have you ever received a product, tried it, didn't like it, and then decided not to review it? And I definitely thought about this question for quite a while, and I can't think of anything specifically where I tried something and I was like, oh, I don't like it, so I'm not going to talk about it. I'm sure that that happens all the time just because I have too much makeup and I don't review every single thing that I try, but I don't think it was something where I like actively in my mind decided if I don't like it, I'm not going to talk about it. I don't think that that has happened. Question number 2 is a product you use alone but don't show or use online, and there's definitely quite a few. I don't really use limited edition products as often on camera. I don't use products from brands that I no longer support on camera for the most part. And then I also am way less inclined to use products from brands that are not cruelty-free, just because I don't want to promote that, and I want to slowly transition my collection to being cruelty-free. So there are certain videos where you can expect it more like Shop My Stash or like Project Pants, wanting to get through makeup that is not cruelty-free. But overall, I don't talk about it as much, and if it's something like easily replaceable, like the P. Louise primer is my absolute favorite, but they still make lashes, so I don't want to talk about them as much. So if it's like in the beginning of a video, I'm less inclined to say like, oh, this is the P. Louise primer. I'll just say I used eye primer kind of thing. Alright, so question number 3 is a product you want but won't buy because you don't support the brand. I would say the very first thing is the MAC and Patrick Star collaborations, especially there were 2 palettes and they were both like berry tones and like pink and blue, and I just thought they were beautiful little quads, and those would be the first thing I would buy if MAC went cruelty free. So that's the only reason I don't support them. But I do like Patrick Star overall. I had a friend meet him and she said he was really, really nice, and I would like to buy that collaboration. I know that they've had other things, but those quads were specifically what spoke to me the most. I also think that the Alien palette from Jeffree Star is super beautiful, and I like the colors in there, and I think the packaging is pretty cool. But I don't support Jeffree Star, so I don't see myself buying that palette. But let me see, do I have anything else down? Oh, actually, I like the Blood Sugar palette from Jeffree Star as well. I think he comes out with some pretty cool products. I just don't want to buy them. I do, but I don't, you know? Alright, so the next question is, do you have any blocked words? And I don't. I could see myself having them someday, but at this point, with the size of my channel, it doesn't really serve a purpose. I feel like the best thing you can do with blocked words is, if you do have a bigger channel, it takes away a really negative comment before anyone else can see it, and before it causes a stir, before it makes your comment section more negative, before it causes a fight. So I feel like it takes it away from that, and it gives it to where only you can see it and you can decide whether it can go into public or delete. So I think that's a really great option, but right now I see my comments first normally, or not that many people see them, and I don't get that many really horrible, negative, mean comments in the first place. So I feel like it wouldn't really be doing that purpose because, you know, I pretty much keep a watchful eye over my comments even when I'm not ready to reply to everything yet. Whenever I first upload a video, I do kind of check it out just because I'm normally pretty anxious and I'm excited to see what you guys think about the content. If it went to the held for review folder, I would end up just reading it anyways, so right now it doesn't make a difference for me. But I do think it's a really cool concept and I think it could be helpful. I also don't have any words that people say to me a whole lot. I mean, maybe back in the day I could have blocked eyebrows because my eyebrows were pretty crazy and I did get some super rude comments about those. Question number 5 is, do you delete comments? If so, why? And I do delete comments. I wouldn't say that it happens that often. I can definitely handle some constructive criticism, but if I feel like it's super mean or aggressive, then I'll probably delete it. If I comment back and it just turns into like a thing, like if it's very argumentative and nothing constructive happening, I'll delete it. If I'm being accused of something that I truly did not do, like I had someone accuse me over and over again and they kept commenting back that like my affiliations, like basically just accusing me of only caring about money, which is not me at all. I do care about money, but not more than my morals. It's a balance, and I would never be affiliated with a company that I did not believe in, and I have ended affiliations whenever I felt like it didn't work out. So they kept commenting it, and I felt like I didn't need to see something that wasn't true, so I deleted that. I also am prone to delete any comment that is about another YouTuber. You can be mean to me all day long, but as the moment you put another YouTuber's name into my channel comments, like I'm just not here for it. If it's, well, it depends. If it's someone super huge and they have a very slim chance of ever seeing that and it's not like vicious, then it might stay. But if it's someone who might be on my channel, there's no way I'm leaving it. Just to give an example, like I have told y'all before that I hate comparisons. I hate like putting women against each other. It's just not something I like, even if you're trying to make me feel better. And I have definitely gotten comparison comments that were supposed to make me feel better, comparing me to another YouTuber, and it was very passive aggressive towards them, and I just did not like that, so I would delete it. And then obviously I've gotten comments, you know, comparing me to other YouTubers, trying to make me feel like less of a person, and I don't like that either, so I'll delete it. I just don't like it. I feel like everyone can do their own thing and be successful and be beautiful in their own right. Like, I always think, like, people love to do, like, the be an Emma Watson, don't be a Kim Kardashian, but I'm like, just be whoever you want to be. So I'm just, like, don't come on my channel and talk crap about another YouTuber, especially if it's someone, like, that I've talked about looking up to. Like, why would anyone do that? I don't understand. So those are all comments that I would delete. Sorry to get on a tangent, but there's a lot of reasons. But it doesn't happen that often. Like, I really do genuinely have a pretty happy comment section. Alright, so the next question is, do you block people? And I don't block, but I do the hide user. I think I've only ever done 3 or 4 in like my entire like 3 years of YouTube. And the thing is, you can be super mean, you can be a jerk, whatever. Like, I've been told some pretty horrible things over my time, but I can get past that, like, whatever, like, maybe you're just having a bad day, maybe you just need someone to take your anger out on, but it's when people come back and they continuously, every single video, leave rude comments, or they're super aggressive, they're argumentative, they just keep going and going and going, and it's like, my mental health is not worth you being able to state your opinion, so I will hide that type of person, because, like, it's like there's like a balance where I want people to be able to speak their mind and give me constructive criticism, and I don't want to get super defensive, but also if what you're telling me and if you're being super mean about it literally makes me anxious and it makes me feel sick to my stomach, because anytime I'm in confrontation, I just like shut down as a person. Honestly, I think it's some sort of PTSD from being in an abusive relationship. I just hate confrontation. I don't like it. So if you make me feel like that, then you don't deserve to be on my channel commenting. So I feel like someone said it. They said like their channel is not know, what did they compared it to some type of government thing, and it really made sense, but I can't remember what it is. But basically, this is my channel, I run the show, so I'm not going to feel bad about that kind of stuff. Question number 7 is, have you ever lied about a product to stay on good terms with the brand? No. No, definitely not. I have, like, just for example, not like trying to toot my own horn or anything, but whenever I do Octoly reviews, you have to submit it back to the brand, and the brand watches that, and my reviews have always been positive and negative. I've done both, gone both sides, but specifically I did a review on the Ofra highlighters and the Space Baby and Cloud9, and they were not the same formula. I was definitely disappointed by them, and I compared them to a different Ofra highlighter that I was sent through Octoly, so I had to submit the review for that one, and Ofra saw my video complaining about their new highlighters for like 8 minutes straight. So like, I feel like for me personally, I'm here to make great content and to make great relationships with y'all and to make friends. I'm not here to make relationships with brands that don't care about me. Like, oh, like, sure, I would like Ofra to like me, but it doesn't, like, it's not a thing for me. It's not a big deal. Also, Ofra was super cool. They were like, we know the formula is different. It's not as intense. It needs more building. They told me how I could exchange them if I wanted. So they were pretty awesome about that. The next question is, have you ever initially liked a product when you reviewed it and then changed your mind but didn't let your audience know? And I feel like for sure, for sure I've done this, because not because I'm a bad person or because I'm like, oh, I'm going to trick them into thinking that I like this foundation forever and now I don't like it. Like, it's not like that at all. It's just the fact that I've done too many first impressions. I did a first impression roundup forever ago where I went back to every first impression I'd done and reviewed them. If you guys would like me to do that again, maybe do like for all the first impressions I did in 2018, well, all of them that I actually did a second impression on too, because there are a few that are a little sketchy. But the problem is I don't have a great review system where, like, I don't have a video or something where I'm like dedicated, like, talking about products that I tried, which I should probably try and think of something, but I feel like everyone has their own take on it, and I've been trying to think of my own take for literally months now, and I can't come up with anything good, except maybe revisiting first impressions. I don't know. So I'm sure that this has happened just out of me not being the most amazing YouTuber ever, and I need to get more organized. All right, so the next question, this is when the tea gets real, which I could probably drink my tea now. It was like steaming hot when I first came down here. And now it's cold. If that is not my life, oh my gosh. So now that the tea is cold, question number 9 is an influencer you don't trust. And this is a question I sat on for so long because it really made me evaluate what it is about different people that I trust or don't trust their words. And I would say that I definitely believe in the good in people. I give most people the benefit of the doubt, and I don't think that most people are just straight up liars. I'm sure that some people stretch the truth a little bit, maybe make things seem a little bit better than they are, maybe a little worse than they are, depending on what their bias is. So I think that there are definitely like maybe like slightly sketchy moments, but I wouldn't say that there's people I completely distrust. Maybe like 1 or 2, but I can't even give you a real reason. It's genuinely just a gut feeling on why I don't trust what they have to say, but I trust most people, and I just don't want to name drop. I feel like it's not nice, and like I said, I'd like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe some people are just super, super positive. Like, people like to review things different ways. People care about different parts of a product. People have different interests. So, yeah, I don't want to name drop. All right. So sorry that the tea is literally cold. All right. So the next question is obviously an influencer that you trust. I could leave the longest list ever. I trust so many people. I value so many different people's opinions, even when I feel like we don't have the exact same makeup style. I still like to hear what they have to say, and then I kind of think like, do we have the same preferences? Do we have the same skin type? And I kind of relate it all back to myself before I decide to make a purchase. And to be quite honest, I have I don't know if I've ever bought something because a YouTuber talked about it and hated it. Maybe I just have really good gut instincts. I can't think of anything right now. If I can think of something, I'll leave it on screen because I'm sure it's going to be a few days before I edit this video. But yeah, so as far as people I trust, anyone I've ever recommended to y'all, I trust. I've done a few different, well, maybe don't watch my oldest one. It's been a really, really long time since I filmed that video. But my two more recent videos on like people I would suggest subscribing to, basically, I definitely trust their opinions. And yeah, I feel like I'm not the best person for this question because I trust Jaclyn Hill. And I feel like nobody trusts Jaclyn Hill, but I still do. So if you don't, it's okay. We can get over this little hiccup in our relationship. But yeah, the tea is definitely cold here. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Question number 11. Secret tips or product application you don't show well on camera. And I feel like I was able to think of a pretty good one. And this is my eye primer. I have hooded eyes, and my eye primer, no matter what it is, if it's the P. Louise base, if it's Tarte Shape Tape, actually Tarte Shape Tape sets a little bit better, but most concealers, my eye primer creases like crazy. So when I'm in the process of filming a video, I normally get like my full face on and stuff. I put my eye primer on and then I start the intro, I talk a little bit, and my eye primer creases. And normally I just tap it out and then I start the video. And then like if I'm like doing the other eye, I tap it out and then I start the video. Like I never ever tap it out on camera, not for any particular reason. It's not like I'm trying to hide it or something. Even when I'm doing like a cut crease, as I'm like doing the line, it'll start to crease, and right before I apply the shadow, I will tap it out and make sure that there are no creases, because once you set that crease, there is no going back from there. So that is something I do a lot off camera, but it seems kind of self-explanatory. I may have done it, I may have talked about it in my tutorial for hooded cut creases for hooded eyes, because it was a really long one and I kind of really did in-depth teaching on how I do that, but that's something I do off camera a lot. So the next question is, have you ever not disclosed a sponsorship? And this question makes me a little nervous. I'm gonna tell you guys my story. I feel like I've watched so many people do this video and no one has had a story for this or had anything to say except no, of course not, which is like, duh. Perhaps to you for being an awesome person. So, okay, about a year and a half ago, a teeth whitening company reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to do a review with their stuff and try it out. And I was really excited about it because it's like a professional teeth whitening thing at home, and like you do like trays and they're like perfectly molded to your mouth and they're amazing. They like fit your teeth perfectly. I accidentally melted my trays like 3 months ago, which is why my teeth are no longer being whitened. I need to figure out something else to do or take the time and the money and redo it. But I also really, really love to drink tea, which doesn't help at all. Anyways, back to the point of the story. They asked me if I would like to do a review and I said yes. Normally I don't, especially now, if someone says like, would you like to do a review? I'm like, I can try your product out and I can consider it for review, but I'm not 100% sure like if it's going to have a video or anything. Like that's just not my style, just because I want to be able to do what I want and I don't want any brands like expecting something from me. But it was something I was really interested in trying out, so I said yes, and they kind of said like that I would have affiliate links or whatever with it, so if someone made a purchase that I would get a percentage. And the way they worded it was like, you'll get $20 plus a percentage of the order. And I think that was my first like sponsored video, just working it out through email. And I did not realize that they had meant $20 for the video plus the percentage of the affiliate links. I thought it was if someone makes a purchase, because it is more of an expensive kit, that I would get $20 plus a percentage. So $20 was like the base for each purchase. That's what I thought that they had meant. So there was nothing like, there was no contracts. It wasn't like anything super official or anything like that. It was just like an agreement. I thought I was doing an unsponsored review with affiliate links. So I went on, I tested everything out. It took a little while because they send you the stuff to make the trays. You have to send it back. I messed up, so they had to send it again. Then I sent it back, and then I got the actual trays, and then it takes months. Yeah, months to do the whitening because I did it over time, and it was actually really, really great. I genuinely loved the product. I thought it was awesome, and so I went ahead and made my review on it. I raved about it, and I said at the beginning, I was like, this video is not sponsored, but they did send me the product, blah, 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 and I kind of gave the little disclaimer, and, you know, I went ahead and I posted it, and I sent it to them, and they asked me for my PayPal, which I assumed was obviously for if anyone makes a purchase. I was not expecting to get paid, and they went ahead and I got like the little notification from PayPal, and it was like, you've been sent $20, blah, 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 and they emailed me and said, like, I thought maybe someone had made a purchase or something, and they said, thank you for the video, we'll let you know if someone makes a purchase. Something along those lines. Something, I can't remember exactly because this was, like I said, a year ago at least, and something clicked where I was like, wait, did they just pay me for the video? So I went back, I found the very first or second email that we had talked about it, and I realized what they had meant, and that I had not realized what it actually meant, and that it was all a miscommunication. I felt genuinely horrible about it because in the video I said, this is not a sponsored video. It was only live for maybe 15 minutes with it saying it wasn't sponsored, but as soon as they sent me the money, I took it down, and I was kind of in a dilemma because I didn't know what to do. Like, there is no guideline to doing YouTube. There's no like instruction manual. It's just like, I didn't know. Like, they had already sent me the money. They had already paid for me for it. It was a product that I genuinely loved and truly still to this day would recommend. And like I said, I need to go ahead and do the whole process again because I melted my trays because I'm the worst. But like I said, I was in a dilemma, so I took the video down, I re-edited it, and so basically when I said this video is not sponsored, I took out the not, and it sounded like this video is sponsored. So it was definitely kept jumpy, and I went ahead and wrote like a whole thing in the description box, and you know, I left like little disclaimers that it was sponsored, because like I said, they already paid me. So now looking back, I'm like, I don't know what was the right thing. Like, maybe I should have just sent them the money back, and say that I didn't realize it was a sponsored video. I don't know what the right answer was there. Now, if I was in that same situation, I would definitely, well, I wouldn't be in that situation. I would be way smarter about it. I would read everything very, very carefully. And I would not allow myself to get into that situation again. But like I said, it really was an honest mistake. And that's basically the story of how I had a sponsored video that was undisclosed for like 15 minutes before I put it back up. And I guess I'm hesitant to share this because I feel like I don't want to get a bad rep. Like, I was not trying to pull one over on anyone. I was just an idiot, to be quite frank, and to make it simplistic, I was just an idiot who did not read perfectly and who just had a miscommunication. So not my proudest moment, but I think I learned from it, maybe. So that's what happened. Hashtag Truthful Youtuber Tag. Getting real. Have you ever had a bad interaction with a brand? And I would say yes. Yes, I have. I've actually had several, which doesn't feel that great. I'm not sure why that is, but I mean, I've had brands just rub me the wrong way, but I would say specifically one brand like genuinely upset me, and I don't want to throw around names or anything. I'm going to keep it pretty anonymous, but there was a brand that I was affiliated with. Please don't make assumptions because there's been several brands that I've been affiliated with that I stopped being affiliated with for different reasons, but there was a specific one and they got involved in a little bit of drama. I did not like the way that they conducted themselves, and I want every brand that I have a code with or that has my name, like, if you can go on their site and you can write Amy Loves, like, I want it to be a brand I believe in, and I just felt really, really turned off by their behavior. So I was really respectful. I just said, like, is there any way I could have my affiliate code removed? And they were kind of a little bit argumentative, and I understand, I guess maybe they took it personally and they wanted to know why, but they weren't really happy with my reasoning, and they basically threatened to tell all of their followers that to unfollow me and not to subscribe to me because I didn't want to be affiliated with them anymore, which I thought was pretty crazy. I definitely wasn't expecting that, and I was kind of just a little bit like mind blown. Like, I can't believe they really just threatened that just because I don't want to be affiliated with them. I wasn't going to talk bad about the product. I wasn't going to talk bad about them. Like, I wasn't going to do anything. Even now, like, I'm still going to keep it respectful because, like, doesn't mean that they're a bad brand. I just think that they weren't very professional, and that was definitely like a slap in the face to me. So yeah, didn't like that. Didn't like how I was treated there. So I think that would definitely be my worst interaction. And I told myself, I was like, I would probably still buy from them in the future. Like, I thought like I would still support them, but the farther along it's gotten from that event, I'm just like, I don't think I will. It just put a bad taste in my mouth for them. So disclaimer, please don't go digging. Like, I really don't want any drama. I'm just being honest, but I don't want any drama. Question number 15 is, have you ever bandwagoned with other people's thoughts on a particular product? I would say, as far as like actual reviews of a product, no. I like to make up my own mind. Whenever I know I'm going to review something or I'm trying it out, I specifically, unless it's something I'm like super excited about and I just can't wait to see it in action, I normally try to wait to watch reviews until after I have formed an opinion myself. That way, it's my own opinion completely, and I don't go into it thinking that it's going to be horrible or thinking that it's going to be amazing. But of course it can happen. For example, my video on the lemonade palette from Dominique Cosmetics should already be up, but I definitely went into that with a little bit of a negative mindset just because I've heard how much people don't like that palette. But I still wanted to give it a chance, and I'm glad that I did. So I try not to, but sometimes I do. But I would say the way that I bandwagon the most is whenever people hype up a product, I definitely fall into that trap. And whenever everyone is talking about one thing, I definitely want to try it. Question number 16 is things other creators do that get on your nerves. And I would say there's probably a lot of things, but a lot of it is just nitpicking, which I try not to do because I feel like everyone is definitely trying to do their best, trying to make the best content they can, doing what they can with their time. I think that the things that annoy me most would definitely just come down to the way that people review products, because I wrote a whole list of things that annoy me, and they're all basically surrounding reviews. So I guess I can just kind of mention it really quickly, but if you do these things, I don't hate you. Like, it's just something that makes me think a little bit more sometimes. I still watch people who do this kind of thing in their reviews all the time. I don't hate them, I don't dislike them, but it's just something I keep in mind. So one thing about reviews is when someone constantly makes excuses for the product. This could be based on the color, like if it's more of a difficult color to formulate. If they continuously say like, oh, it's so hard to do though, it's so hard, like I know how hard it is to make a good purple. I don't really like that because I feel like, yes, I'm sure it's hard to do certain things, but there are good, genuine purples on the market. So just because it's hard to do doesn't mean you should recommend a mediocre purple, if that makes sense. I also don't like the way that some people review really inexpensive products and they think like if it's inexpensive and it like halfway works, then it kind of balances out. I think that even if you have a lower budget and you have to only purchase inexpensive makeup, or you just really enjoy purchasing inexpensive makeup, you should still want to only recommend phenomenal products. Like, I just feel like sometimes people will say, oh, this is good for the price, but I just want to know if it's genuinely good. So I try not to do that in my reviews, or like if to make a product seem better just because it costs less. I want products to be good no matter what cost they are, basically. I only want good things to be in my collection. I only want to recommend y'all good things. So that's something that kind of gets on my nerves. Another thing that I noticed lately, and I mean, I feel like a lot of people do first impressions as reviews, and I get it because it's like everyone wants to see things so quickly. There's like a push to always talk about the newest thing. I have done that, but only for Juvia's Place eyeshadow palettes because I feel like I know their formula like the back of my hand. Actually, I think I know their formula better than the back of my hand. I don't know if I have freckles or anything on the back of my hand. Actually, there was a thing on, this is such a tangent, but on Twitter, and it was like people showing different lead marks that they had gotten in their hand and how it stayed forever. And I like genuinely like sat there for like 10 minutes and like oh my God, wait, is that one right there? No, I don't know if it is. I was examining my hands, like, do I have lead marks I don't know about? So that's not the greatest phrase for me. But anyways, I've done it for Juvia's Place because I feel like I know their formula really, really well. And so I used all the colors and because it was only 9 shadows, but I feel like I could give an honest review on it from there. But like, for example, with the new Morphe Fluidity foundation, I saw someone do a first impression on the foundation, the primer, the powder, and the concealer, and call it a review. And they were trying 4 different face products that can completely change each other face product. Like, the primer could completely change the foundation. How can you do a review on a foundation with trying it with one primer, or like only using with a brush, or only using with a sponge, and using the concealer could change the consistency. Or like I saw someone say that they could tell the difference between how a concealer wears and how a powder wears, like an under eye powder, and I'm like, is that like a superpower? Because I can't do that. Like, I think, I guess the whole thing is at the end of the day, it revolves around money and getting the money from the AdSense for having the first review up, or having, you know, a quick video, or the money from having an affiliate code and immediately getting a video up to the point where you don't test it to the fullest extent. Like, it blows my mind that someone could try 4 different face products and call it a review and only use them all once and all at the same time, because that's just, it is too many factors, too many to be able to tell the difference. It's like in science, like whenever you had science projects, what's it called? What is the thing that changes in a science fair project?
Okay, I found this on
the variable. It's a variable. There are too many variables to give a conclusion, okay? So that's something else that kind of frustrates me. But I think that's one of those times where whatever they say, you just take it with a grain of salt and you keep it moving. I don't have anything negative to say about this. Like, I'm really not over here holding grudges. Like, I can't believe you did it. Like, that's not what I'm doing. Definitely not. But it's definitely something where, like, when I watch, I'm like, okay. So that is the end of this video. I feel like I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out. I like it a lot better now. I feel like I'm not going to be as anxious. Well, maybe a little bit, because I mentioned a little bit of drama, and I don't want anything bad to come from that. I just was answering the question as honest as I could. So that is everything for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.